There was incident called 16th April 2024. I hope you remember that. 16th April, what had happened is there was a massive flood-like situation in Dubai, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how people see it. People saw it as devastation. I saw it a very clear purpose, very clear signal from the so-called nature that we can't take it for granted. Because my eventual goal is to evolve as an ecosystem wherein I'm able to provide R3 services to everyone. Electronics is like melting ice, okay? But as long as there's a fizzle, so it's always useful. Eventually electronics will die down. But what happens if you're extending the life cycle of it? I really wish at some stage these manufacturers also start to think for the environment, which I believe will not happen because the race is all GDP.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the Be Your Own Boss podcast by Sunrise International in collaboration with Elegant Services. This episode of the Be Your Own Boss podcast is brought to you by Elegant Services. They help global brands enter the UAE market and the other GCC markets with ease. They specialize in businesses like health supplements, cosmetics, food, and other personal care products. If you're in any of these businesses, you can get in touch with Elegant Services and they'll help you enter the UAE market. They also do compliance audit and help you enter the UAE market compliant, completely 100% compliant without any errors, without any delays, in a quick way. So the best way to enter into a new market is to work with an expert who understands that market. So that's Elegant Services for you. So in this episode of the Be Your Own Boss podcast, we have with us the founder of R3 Factory, Mr. Mukul Anand. Mukul ji had been on the show, I think about a couple of years back when we discussed about his journey and we discussed about R3 Factory. Let's hear from him how things have changed in these 2 years. Mukul ji, welcome to the Be Your Own Boss podcast. Thank you so much for taking out time.
Thank you. First, I'm grateful that you're inviting me here again after a couple of years. And as you said, the life has changed. In fact, I believe that every second, every minute, things are changing.
Yeah.
It's just that we only see a change on the larger perspective. 2 years back, I had the journey of R3 Factory, and I still do the journey of R3 Factory. But what has changed is the definition of the journey we do. Those years, I would say that our definition of R3 Factory was still buy, repair and sell, and that is still a journey, buy, repair and sell. So what we have been doing, what we thought of it originally, to provide a solution for sustainability. This word talks a lot about sustainability, but nobody actually does it, right? So here we are very true to our purpose. So we must have increased our volume, we must have increased the way we test the devices, we must have done several changes, we have done our technological advancement, our aspirations have further reinforced where we all started. So I started R3 Factory back in 2017. Actually it was 2018. I always say 17 because that was a journey when I left my previous organization called Axiom Telecom, and I decided to do something on this. And I always wanted to do a business which is having a purpose and where I can make an impact. So what has changed is clarity of thought. I think I've become much more clearer that my journey is very meaningful, and I have to do it much more vigorously, and it's not just me alone. The team around me have all have to only put their energy together to make it more meaningful.
Yeah.
So meaning is I always say that my purpose in life is to make the earth greener and to make the customer happy. It's a very simple thing, and R3 gives it very simple, straightforward answer to this. So if you minimize e-waste, right? And if you generate cash out of your electronics, if you can fix the broken electronics, so what you're doing is you're actually saving the money for yourself. So if you buy used device, obviously you're not going to pay money as what you pay for brand new. So all this actually helps to result in way of saving money for the customer. And at the same time, when you minimize the waste, I think today I'm going to not talk about what the story and not going to load you with it. I just want to tell you like why we are doing what we are doing. What is our purpose? I think purpose is the essence of it, and if purpose is clear, everything else will be clear. So I was talking to you about the earth, and if we minimize the need for newer electronics, what it means is you don't have to mine raw material, ores to produce the electronics, not just mobile phone, everything else around it. And so it means load on the earth is much greater, reduced, right? And in fact, in between our last podcast and this podcast, there was incident called 16th April 2024. I hope you remember that. 16th April, what had happened is there was a massive flood-like situation in Dubai, right? Probably you remember.
Yeah? Oh yeah. The floods. Yeah. I was outside Dubai, and I know that Dubai was flooded.
I don't know how people see it. People saw it as devastation. I saw it a very clear signal from the so-called nature that we can't take it for granted. And I was running that day, and suddenly the rain started. I did not estimate that it will be rain of my lifetime. And just to tell you in short, seeing the cars submerged, system in disarray for weeks, couple of weeks, right? I think, and the whole traffic was at standstill.
Flights were cancelled. I was stuck because of the flight cancellation. The airport was closed.
So that was an incident that clearly told us, like, say, there's no time. We always say there's a tomorrow we have. So let us do something right. There's no tomorrow. All we have is now. And so if something has to be done, if we have to minimize the waste production, we have to do it now. So there's no tomorrow. So I think that incident gave me very much clearer purpose and much bigger force to me that I'm on the right path. And the journey towards making the people happy, because people have to be happy, otherwise nobody will come and do R3 with me. So R3 has to become a phenomenon by itself. And
just to reiterate, Mukul bhai, R3 stands for?
See, it stands for repair, renew, and reuse. Because I always say that, like, if you have electronics, you always have only three needs. Something is defective, you want to fix it. You are tired of it, and you see there's a brand new item available. You want to sell it. Or you don't have enough of money in your pocket, so you are okay to buy second hand. So that is reuse.
Buy a second.
And the last thing people talk about is the recycle, which I often call destruction. So imagine the world has three boys, right? Rather, I would say two boys and one girl, right? So one boy is all about production. I'm just trying to create visualization for you. So one boy is the guy who construct. He's a constructor guy. He's a manufacturer. Second boy is a destructor. He has drill machine, and he has got drills and crushers. He crushes it. And the girl, right, who cares for humans and who cares for the earth, is a preservation. So I always call myself to be the guy who preserves. So hence I don't talk much about recycling, because recycling should be a last step. It is important, but it should always be a last step towards minimizing the so-called e-waste. I don't call it e-waste, I call it e-treasure, because all these days, I think when I met you last time, probably I had around 12 or 13 people. Today I've got 22 people.
Wow.
And I believe that, and it's not like I have consciously increased manpower, because I just need to show to someone that we have got need for it, but it just happened. So purpose was there, and everything else kept on evolving. I see that this evolution will grow and grow further. And I think my eventual goal is to evolve as an ecosystem wherein I'm able to provide R3 services to everyone. So be it the end customer, be it the enterprise. End customer means, for example, if you require repair or buyback or even buying the used devices, and last would be recycle. We should be able to provide you solution. Similarly, if enterprise, right, for example, let's say any airlines, I think they always have lots of pilots and they always carry lots of gadgets, and if they want to more often they want to replace it, we should be able to in fact provide them a solution. So if you look at, the world is lots of dots, and let's call a dot a company. Some dots are micro small, you can't see it, and you can call them a solopreneur if they don't make an impact, but they still have a courage to do something. And some are really big, thick, fat dots. Some are shiny, but I'm just saying this is how the word is, formed. And we are also a small dot in it. We want to find the language to communicate, to work with all these spots. And that is why we have even formed the community called Business Friends Forever community. Because the community is not only for me, it is for everyone. And why I'm mentioning this to you, I say this is R3 Factory's podcast, but why BFFC? Imagine if I was the distributor of, let's say, hypothetical brand, let's call it Samsung. So who is the most important stakeholder in my business? It will be Samsung. Because Samsung is the one who's giving me the goods, giving me the prices, giving me discounts and rebates, and everybody else is the way to make money for me. So that is the forward logistics. But when I say that I want to champion the art of reverse logistics, right? I want to be the ecosystem of reverse logistics. So in simple term, just to create visualization, I say I want to be Google of reverse logistics, so wherein I can provide solution to everyone. So that is the dream which I carry, and I think the way we are going, we have understood it. Dream is big, and it has its own pros and cons, but I think the dream is very much meaningful. And as I said, the reminder for this nature, I think the 16th April last year was the very strong reminder. So there's nothing which can change our dream, because this is the important thing, the most important thing.
Absolutely. The most important mission on the planet is this.
As long as you can make money, as long as you can grow, and I think growth in terms of can look after your kids, can look after your parents, can meet your basic needs, I think that's more than enough. And then I think for me, how many people I can engage and how many lives I can touch. Money is, I always believe, that's a byproduct, but money is very important. If you have money, you can always grow. So, as a business, some people say, like, why money is not a priority? I say money is a priority, but if you understand that in terms of forward logistics and reverse logistics, it's very important that how do you think the country sees their growth? What is your view? GDP, right? What is GDP? GDP means, like, how much you are able to consume, right? So the measurement is always in terms of money. $35 trillion, $15 trillion, $5 trillion. I'm not going to economics, which all these countries talk about these numbers. So, but important is they talk about the money. This much of consumption they have done.
Let's say a particular country says their GDP is $5 trillion. What does that exactly mean for the people who don't know what it means to have a $5 trillion GDP? What is that?
It's a gross domestic product. So basically, what is your country overall addition of all what you are selling, what you are producing, that is in general, that's what understanding is. So for example, let's say you are the iPhone manufacturer, and you keep on upgrading the iPhones, and you're able to sell iPhones a much larger number, and so you as a company are able to sell much larger volume, and that contributes to your current GDP. Say for example, let's say nowadays it is all AI. By the way, AI was not there when we spoke last time.
Yep,
so
that's true.
Now we talk about NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA is the hero. They have got $4 trillion valuation. It is just, in fact, only $1 trillion back from entire India's GDP. So if you see from that perspective, all these companies who are very, very good at selling their product, I will not call it high or low, selling their product at the price which they think is ambient to them, able to create good life for them, good life for the people. But eventually its bottom line is how much value they are able to create And that's what, in general, we call it GDP. And that's why certain countries, they say, okay, we are superpower because we have got highest GDP. And some countries, they say we are developing because we got lower GDP. So I'm just saying my measure of my growth should not be done in terms of numbers. Rather, it should be done in terms of number of people I touch, how many lives I've touched. So I just said, like say last time when we met, we had 12 people working. Now we have 22 people working. If you look at indirect, there are hundreds of people who work with us together. And my goal is to at least reach 10,000. Probably I said this last time too.
Yeah.
Am I really close to it? I don't know. How long it will take? Again, I would say I don't know. Maybe it can happen tomorrow. Never know. It's just a matter of having one breakthrough. And as I said, money is very important.
Yeah.
If you have money, and if you can keep creating money, keep producing money, you can always make much larger impact. So just to not to sound contradictory, as I said, money is a driving force for us, but people are the one who actually help us to create and generate money.
True.
The way I see business is very different. The way forward people see it, I see it differently.
Yeah. You mentioned about forward logistics and reverse logistics. Yeah. So can you explain what forward logistics?
The forward logistics says, for example, I have iPhone, and I think this must be must have.
Sure,
I think it's old one. I'm not a fan of using. Though we sell quite a lot of we sell quite a lot of phones to the people.
Yeah.
So forward is when manufacturers produces it and throws it out in the market, and normally they throw it out. When I say throw, in the sense like it's called supply chain. So they give to distributors or they give to network operators, and from the second tier it comes to the independent retailer, so on and so forth. And people also use e-commerce as a channel to distribute the product. In India, that happens quite well. So that's what we call forward. So I'm the manufacturer, I throw my goods to you. And the another term which is very important, we call it reverse logistics, or we call a circular economy. So reverse logistics means, let's say for example, device is something to you, or maybe with this gentleman or anybody in the world, they have it. And now there's a new one, because manufacturer is not so keen about when device is sold to the end consumer. For them, it's already a forgotten story. All right. For them, what is the most important is I create new model, newer software update, and I need to sell more. That is the objective. But they don't talk about what happens if it is with the customer. And this is where I play. So as I said, I work with the distributor to run a buyback program. So there are two kinds of programs which I run. And there are many other elements, but you asked me what has changed. So probably when I was meeting you last time, probably there was nothing like this, that time. But now certain things have changed, and I think I would like to talk about. So we work with distributor, and distributor is somebody who works with the manufacturer. So manufacturer would give the goods to them, and distributor would eventually give to the retailer, like say Sharab DG or Jumbo or Emax or ECT and
that's
so on.
That's the forward logistics.
That's the forward logistics, right? But you cannot sell more. See, problem is people often say, like as I said, like manufacturers are not so bothered about when devices are with the customer. But they understand very well, as long as the device is there in the hand of the end customer, they will not be compelled to buy a newer one. So they have to always give certain proposition wherein your old device has a value. That's what we call buyback. So for example, iPhone 17 is going to come, and what will happen is, like, distributor would say that let us give a promise to end customer saying that, okay, you bring your device after 1 year and I'll pay you a certain percentage back. So it means customers are tied up even when they buy new. And I always say, it may slightly be complicated for you, but I'll explain to you that you understand that. So for the end customer, he or she would protect their device, use it carefully, so at least device condition doesn't change, and next year they get the value back. So like say I've been part of iPhone 15 assured buyback, iPhone 16 assured buyback, and if all goes well, probably iPhone 17 assured buyback. It means that you are able to take commitment from the end customer, or rather you are able to give commitment to end customer that your device value after 1 year will be this. So that has been a game changer. That has been a massive game changer. All these days we were thinking to make people reactive. For example, let's say you have certain phones right now at this point of time and you want to know how much money I can generate. So what happens with this process, you don't actually collect everything back. And imagine the world is producing lots of waste every single second, not a minute, every single second, lots of waste is being produced. And as we grow further in terms of technology, today you don't see any robots here, you don't see any humanoids, but I bet that in next 5 years time, you'll see a surge of robots around us, right? And we have to live with it. And but what are the robots? It's nothing but the electromechanical part which has the artificial built in it, and it will do some certain task. Right? So waste is increasing. Waste is going to grow further and further. Devices are going to go further and further smarter.
So, sorry, you're saying with the new invention, new innovation, new technologies coming in, new products, I mean, even a robot, let's call them products, right? These are all products. New products will come in the market.
Yes.
And so, and you said that will make more e-waste.
Every device which doesn't have a life will eventually become outdated.
So the older ones will, that's the e-waste that we're 100%. Generating as we keep getting new
so
technology.
Waste, I don't see any way it is slowing down. Today we talk about the assured buyback for the mobile phones. At some stage probably we'll talk about assured buyback for the robots.
For the robots.
Maybe next, maybe not 5 years, probably 2-3 years time. And everything will remain same. Forward logistics will be there. So as reverse logistics will be there. And hopefully by then we will be able to make much bigger stride in terms of evolving as ecosystem. This is what I've been talking about. So
robots are a thing already now. I mean, just this 16th April date that you're talking about, right? During this time, I was traveling. I was in Singapore, and I experienced this robot thing where I in my hotel room, I ordered something, and the bot bought it. Brought it to my door, and instead of ringing the bell, it just called on my landline on the hotel room phone, said, "I'm waiting outside, please open the door." And I went outside and said, press this button, and my thing was there. So bot is already a thing now. So, and very soon we will have situations where like phones, we will have bots in our house, and we can get things done with it. Now, with new things coming, the old things die, and that's where the e-waste is generated, right? But my question is, it's like an inevitable cycle, right? Like we'll keep on innovating, we'll keep on bringing new things, and the old. So let's take iPhone as an example. Today we're talking about iPhone 17, right? And I think it started with iPhone 4 or something. Over these years, every year a new phone.
I think there was one more iPhone before iPhone 4. The iPhone 3 was there, and iPhone was there.
An iPhone was there, and a few were there. So now who uses iPhone 4 anymore? Like, it has died its own death long back, right? My question is, by renewing or by repairing, okay, like all what we're doing is extending that lifetime a little more. It will die eventually anyways.
No, so I always say that there can be multiple analogies to put in. But electronics is like melting ice, okay? But as long as there's a fizzle, so it's always useful, right? And second thing is, not everybody is equally rich, or not everybody is equally poor. So say for example, for many people, iPhone 17 will be very good choice, and quite a lot of people in UAE would love to go for iPhone 17. But there are many who cannot afford to have iPhone 17. For them, iPhone 16 is like gold. iPhone 15 is amazing. And even you'll be surprised, even till date, the good trade happens on iPhone 7, iPhone 8, iPhone 10, XS, XR, 11, 12, 13. That is part of renewed. So you are saying, you're very valid, right, when you say that eventually electronics will die down. But what happens if we are extending the life cycle of it? So what we are doing is, we're not affecting the manufacturer, number one. because those who have got $1,000 in their pocket easily, without having to sell their so-called kidney, they can easily go and buy a brand new device. But those who got couple of $100, $50, say for example, what would they do, right? iPhone is a very reliable device. People like the UX and UI. The UX user experience is amazing. So those who have lesser money, they can still afford to have it. And eventually, as you said, like iPhone and iPhone 3 and iPhone 4, after it loses its value, so what happens to that? Does it go and become part of landfill, or it becomes something which you don't know? So what really happens is that every single device, whether it was manufactured in the past or whether it will be manufactured in the future, one thing will remain same, that it will be built through the material. And so certain materials are rare earth metal, and certain things are available metals. Say for example, it will have some aluminum, or it will have nickel, cadmium, copper, gold, silver, right? So on and so forth. So these are the essential material. If I put all this on a table, I say, okay, assemble it, I'll make it iPhone. They say, what rubbish, how I can't do that. So, but taking the material from the earth and making it a metal, and doing the IC fabrication, making the body, in fact, lots of programming goes into to manufacture the IC. As I said, I'm not expert at it, but being an electronics engineer, I understand the basics of it. So that's how they manufacture, and there are lots and lots of screws and so on and so forth. But it's just the brilliance of designing. I really wish at some stage the manufacturers also start to think for the environment, which I believe will not happen, because the race is all GDP. Manufacturers are responsible for recycling. So EPR has been there, I think probably 22, 23 countries, and it has been launched even in UAE. So what it means is, you as a manufacturer, let's say you are the Apple manufacturer, so it is your responsibility to also take back equal amount of electronics which you are selling in the market.
How can we harm the planet less while producing new, and how can we harm the planet less by dumping less waste into this? Like plastic, we say, right? Like the damages of dumping plastic on this planet is irreversible. So on the production side, what we take from Mother Earth, and on the destruction side, what we dump on Mother Earth, these are the two things overall. Like if you zoom out and look at it from a human perspective, these are the two things that we need to control and manage. Right?
Language is not a barrier anymore. Earlier, even to do translation, you've got big paragraph, so then you have to know the know the other language, but that is all gone. So it means that something which you felt like a knowledge is no more knowledge. It becomes like a calculator. You can easily do it. So what will remain? What our machines cannot do? We are in a time where the speed of change is so massive, and we are reaching towards the homogeneity. I think we are making the technology as homogeneous. As I said, writing good English is no more a skill.
Yeah.
Creating good flyer is no more a skill.